Hey there, welcome to another edition of Tuesdays with Joe, where you ask your most burning UX questions and I answer them. Today's question comes from Kim, and she says, what good practices do you recommend to stop scope creep? I have stakeholders who routinely sort of come out of nowhere and introduce new requests, new features, new functionality, new things that we had no idea was happening 3 weeks prior. This happens on every project that we work on, and I don't know what to do about it. Please help. Kim, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you, I promise. Like a lot of things, a lot of us have experienced this. You're 3 weeks into your sort of pre-build and you're reviewing everything and the features and functions are pretty much nailed down. Your interactivity is nailed down. Development is literally starting on the front end stuff because a lot of the middle tier logic has been taken care of. The database work is finished. You're going, right? And you have the end in sight. You're looking toward launch. And all of a sudden, a person or two people or three people that you've never even spoken to before, whether you're working for a client or whether you're working in-house somewhere, show up and say, well, what about this thing? I thought we promised the client that we were going to include A, B, C, and D. Where's that? And you're thinking to yourself, how did we not know about this before now? But it happens, okay? And all I can do is speak from my own experience. What I have seen in the last several years of doing this is that the main reason that happens, and you're not going to like my answer, the main reason it happens is because the folks on the design and development side did not have the right people in the room at the very start of the project. So in a way, the finger sort of points back to us. I'll tell you what I do religiously. Whenever I get a consulting request to come in and look at UI or UX or evaluate system or train our team in better UX practices. We're getting hung up all the time. We don't know why. In the past, when I've worked on projects, full-blown projects with clients or with organizations, the thing I do at the outset is if I'm working with a company, okay, and the current company has 3, 4, 5 departments, I want a representative from every single department, the department head now, okay? I want those people in the room on day one. And what I say is if we can't get them all in the room in the same time, then we have to have at least 4 or 5 separate meetings until we hear everybody's piece as to what they expect from this project. Okay? Everybody who's involved. Now you'll hear some variation of, well, we've never done that before. Nobody ever asked to talk to these folks. Why do we need to do that? There's no need for that. There is a need for that because if you do not allow those folks the opportunity to get their concerns out on the table up front and allow yourself to hear what they expect up front, they will put it forward, okay? But it'll be 3, 4, 5 weeks later when you're building stuff, okay? Because no one asked them what needed to happen. What you have to understand about an organization, even small ones, is that if you have more than one stakeholder, which 9 times out of 10 you do, their priorities are different, and in a lot of cases, their priorities are competing. That's not because they want to be at war with each other. It's not because they have dramatically different goals. It's because they're responsible for different things, okay? They have different desired outcomes to satisfy their part of the business, to satisfy the things that they are responsible for. So it is imperative that before you go down the path of sort of generating a set of preliminary requirements, something that you can start iterating on, designing with, to start testing assumptions, you have to get the lay of the land first and hear what everybody wants out of this. Because if you don't, like I said, it'll come up later. So my advice to you is you have to start pushing for that. The very next project that you have, when somebody comes to you with, you have your initial kickoff meeting or whatever it is, where you get requirements or it's just a discussion saying we think we need to update this, we need to add these features, whatever it is, that's the time for you to speak up and politely say, look, I really think that we should get, so-and-so from this department and this person from this department, and I don't even know who runs this department, but we should probably have them at the meeting as well because this affects their world. And in the past, we've had people sort of come out of the woodwork and surprise us. And I just as soon not do all that rework again. It's counterproductive. It frustrates everybody, us, them. So I really think we should hear from those folks. You have to be an advocate for that because nobody else is going to do it. Everybody else is too busy. They got their head down. They're just like trying to go forward, right? So at the beginning, at the outset, make sure those people are involved. And if you can't have a formal meeting with them, that's fine. My other thing is I don't always ask permission, okay? Ask forgiveness after the fact. So even if you hear, absolutely not, we're not talking to anybody from sales, not happening. Just go forward. Talk to sales anyway. Okay? Formulate some questions and just say, look, we're doing this thing, here's what we're doing. Tell me how this affects your world, right? What do you need to happen? Has anyone talked to you about this redesign? Find out anyway. The more surprises you eliminate up front, the more surprises you eliminate later on down the line. Okay? So try that out. Let me know how it goes. I wish you much success in this and every endeavor that you undertake. And I hope you always remember to give good UX.